Hey there, let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a job posting and thought, yeah, I can do this job? And then you applied and then you waited and you never heard another word, no interview, no rejection, just silence, not even crickets. So you assume you're not qualified. But what if that's not the problem at all? Here's the truth: your resume isn't being judged first by a human, it's being compared by a system. And that system isn't asking, can this person do the job? No, it's asking, does this resume speak the same language as this job description? And if the answer is no, 9 times out of 10, you never make it to a human being. And that's not necessarily a qualification problem. It's often a communication problem. Look, today, with the help of AI, of course, I'm going to help you run a side by side comparison between your resume and real job description data. We'll identify where your experience aligns, uncovers the market language you're missing, and pinpoint the sections that deserve a closer look. No rewriting today, no guessing, just a clear x ray of what's working, what's missing, and why employers may be overlooking strengths you already possess. Because sometimes the difference between being ignored and getting an interview is simply learning how to speak the market's language. Welcome to Daily AI Prompts for Job Seekers. I'm William Craig III, an AI business and career strategist. If you're new to the series, welcome. My mission is simple: to help you run your job search like a well-organized job campaign, one with clarity, confidence, and strategy, using AI as your job campaign manager. And by the way, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, it's called Get Up and Get a Job. That's right. If you've already done that, I thank you. But if you haven't, go to Get Up and Get a Job on YouTube. Yes, click that subscribe bell. You'll be notified every time I go live or share exclusive material not available anywhere else. All right, well, let's see who's saying hello in the comments section. And let's see here. We've got, first up, Daniel Velez. Good Monday, William and team. Good Monday to you. Hey, how about them Knickerbockers, huh? Oh my goodness. And World Cup. How'd you survive World Cup, Daniel? Let's see here. We got, hey, Therese Jones is with us. Hello, and hope everyone had a nice weekend. I hope you had a nice weekend too. Weather's been really nice on the East Coast. And I mean, if you like hot, I like hot. So it's been nice. Not humid. So but thanks for being here. Thanks for making yourself known, Therese. Appreciate it. Then we've got Brother John Werner is in the house. John says, hi, William and everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Happy Monday. Really looking forward to today's session. Navigating the ATS can feel like a bit of a black box. I love the focus on diagnosing the problem first before jumping straight into a massive rewrite. Yes, yes, yes. I hope we all see some great progress in our searches this week. I pray the same as John. I really do. And let me just say, to your point about diagnosing, well, you would know, but some days ago, I actually took us into understanding a job description and, well, I shouldn't say a job description, but a job title, and then the top 10 keywords, top 10 responsibilities for that specific job title. Remember that? Well, now we're diving deeper. As I told you guys, everything is building on. Everything we're doing this week builds on last week, which built on the week before. And so at this point, we're at a place where now we're pulling the pieces together so that we can begin to reframe, we can begin to rebuild, we can begin to rewrite. But yeah, we got to know what's wrong first, and then we can make it right. So thank you for that. Always thank you for your wonderful insight, John. I appreciate it. And let's see, one more popped up. Dawn Lewis. Dawn says, I'm going to be there or I'll be square. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn says, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Got to see my granddaughter performing her Children's Day activities at church yesterday, as well as get her to the rehearsal, the choir rehearsal on Thursday and Saturday. And oh, she just made us proud. She really did. So there's my share about the weekend. Speaking of share, oh my goodness, let's get into this. Today's prompt says, compare Mary's resume. Of course, you're going to change this to compare my resume, right? Compare Mary's resume to the job description research from week 23. You all realize we're in week 24 already? Wow. Anyway, identify the strongest matches, the missing market language, and the resume sections that need attention. Explain why diagnosing the problem first makes every future edit 10 times smarter. This is what John was alluding to just a moment ago. He didn't know it, but he's just right on point. Do not rewrite any resume sections yet. So again, we're going to take the information that we gleaned from week 23, that was last week, early in the week, and now we're going to compare that information to our resume and our resume to that information. And we're going to point out some things, highlight some things. We're not going to start the rewrite yet, but we're going to get it. We're going to get it queued up. All right. So here we go. And I have high reasoning on. So this may take a little bit longer than usual. And that's okay, because it's considering the job. I love how it tells you what it's doing. Okay, I'll keep this diagnostic only. Matches, gaps, and sections needing attention. No rewritten summary, bullets, or resume language yet. And that's because of the last part of that prompt that I put in there. Because again, I need us to get understanding first. So here we go. Let me ask you something, says chat. What if Mary's resume is not weak at all? It's just not speaking enough of the employer's language yet. That's the diagnosis. Mary has real accounts receivable, accounts payable, reconciliation, collections, invoicing, and payment resolution experience. The issue is not whether she has value. The issue is whether the resume makes that value obvious to an AR manager job description. And here's the thing, what you got to understand. This is the problem that many of you have. This is the problem. And that's why I'm doing this. Because for some of you, I've worked with you, I've seen your resumes in its raw format, I'll call it. And that's the problem. You're not speaking the same language as the ATS / the job title / the employer. All right, let's keep going. Resume diagnostic, Mary versus week 23 AR manager research. So the strongest matches, and I love this because as you see, ChatGPT remembers what we did last week. And so when I put in this simple prompt, it knows to fetch that information as well as fetch Mary's resume from so many months ago that we put it in. And now we have our diagnostic. So the job description pattern, managing aging reports and outstanding receivables, Mary's resume evidence, reduced aging from 70 million to 30 million, match strength, very strong. Another very strong match, the collections and cash recovery. On her resume, it says collected $17 million in 1 year. Another very strong. Resolving unapplied or unidentified payments, reduced unidentified payments by 80%. So direct hits, you sunk my battleship on those, all right? But look, we lose the very and move to strong, high volume invoice processing. handled 300 plus invoices weekly, is strong. Account reconciliation, reconciled unapplied payments and account discrepancies, strong. ARAP operations, background includes both receivables and payable, strong. Process improvement, improved payment identification and reduced unresolved balances, strong. But look, we're going in another direction. Cross-functional communication was one of those areas that continually popped up on those job descriptions, real-time job descriptions that chat identified for us last week. Here's what Mary's resume talks about. Likely worked with internal teams, customers, vendors, or departments to resolve payment issues. And so here we go. In this case now, it's saying likely because why? Because it's not implicit. It's not implicit. And so therefore now our grade goes to moderate to strong. But look, here we go again now. Reporting and tracking. Aging reduction in collections results suggests reporting discipline. Suggest, again, it's not implicit. It's more so implied. So we get to moderate now, a moderate match. Accuracy and compliance, moderate. Why? Reconciliation work supports this, but the resume may need clearer language later. So right there, we've got an analysis of the most important points, the most important areas, the most important responsibilities that chat identified. And now we're looking at how Mary's resume stacks up. And we've gone from very strong all the way down to moderate. So here we go. Strongest takeaway. Mary already has the proof employers care about. She does not need to invent credibility. She needs to translate her credibility into market language. That part. She needs to translate her credibility into market language, the language that the job market is using. And you'll recall, we didn't just get one job and look at how Mary's information, I'm sorry, one job and look at what was coming up repeatedly for that one job. No, we looked at across the board in the New York City area. If you remember with me, we took one job title, ARAP manager, and we asked it to look at all of the live job postings in the New York City area for that day. And it gave us the language that's being used. It gave us the responsibilities that are being sought for that position. So here we go. Reducing aging from $70 million to $30 million is not helping with accounts receivable. That is business impact for sure. That is cash flow. That is operational recovery. But here we go. Let's get into this missing market language. This is where the resume likely needs attention later. Not because Mary lacks the experience, but because the language may not fully match how AR manager roles are being written. All right, market language from AR management roles. Remember this? Order to cash. Why it matters. Common phrase for AR lifecycle ownership. Mary's resume gap. Her experience supports it, but the phrase is missing. DSO. Employers often want days sales outstanding reduction or monitoring. Her aging reduction suggests this, but DSO is not named specifically. And if you're wondering why this matters, because this is the criteria by which you're being gauged using those applicant tracking systems. Please remember, go back to the rewind to the beginning. The very first entity, if you will, that will be judging your resume, your application, once it is submitted, is an AI tool, applicant tracking system, which has been programmed to look for certain keywords, phrases, And if they're not there, it's a no-go, period. All right. Cash application, another one that came up. Major AR keyword connected to payments and unapplied cash. Well, Mary's unidentified payment work certainly fits, but again, the specific term, not there. Dispute resolution. AR managers often handle billing disputes and escalations. It may be implied but not clearly named. Credit and collections, common manager level AR phrase. Collections is present, but credit language is missing. See that? That's just so cool. So it talks about the fact, her resume talks about the fact that she has the collections experience, but we don't see the credit language there. And they may be one and the same in her mind. And that's how some of us may be looking at our resume in our minds. But certainly someone who knows will know that that means, or that includes that. Guess what? You're dealing with a program, if you will, a platform that has been programmed, customized to look for certain things. If they're not there, it's a no-go. You lose points. Game over. All right, month-end close frequently appears in accounting and AR manager descriptions. I remember us talking about this last week. Needs confirmation before adding. And Mary has done month-end closing. I know Mary. Okay, I know. I made her up. Okay. Internal controls signals compliance, audit readiness, and process discipline. May be absent or understated. KPI reporting. Manager roles often expect dashboards, metrics, and leadership visibility, which is one of the reasons why coming towards the end of the first 6 months of the year, we talked about those dashboards. We built dashboards. But here we go. Mary's results are measurable, but KPI language may be missing. Team leadership, AR manager roles often supervise, train, or coach staff. Resume may not yet prove management readiness. We talked about that also. And then the ERP systems, employers often search for SAP, Oracle, NetSuite, QuickBooks, Workday, etc. Skills section may need stronger system alignment. What does your resume look like compared to the exercise that we did last week? That's what today is all about. If you didn't do the exercise last week, guess what? That's your homework for today. Go do the exercise. Go do the exercises. Okay. All right. Because if you didn't do that one, you probably didn't do the next and the next and the next. So get it done. Come on now. Do you want to work or do you want to work? That's right. Say it. I want to work. Yes. And then let's get to this prompt, to today's prompt, and then ask it to take your resume and compare it to what you found during that exercise and do this for you. All right, next up, resume sections that need attention. A, target title. Mary's target title should be checked first. If she's aiming for accounts receivable manager, the top of the resume needs to make that direction clear. If the resume still reads like an AR/AP specialist resume, employers may not immediately see her as manager ready. Point blank. No rewrite yet. We're just diagnosing. The target may need sharper alliance. That's all we're saying. Thank you, chat. B, professional summary. The summary likely needs the most strategic attention. Right now, Mary's strongest value is measurable. Aging reduction, collections recovery, invoice volume, payment cleanup, and reconciliation. The summary should eventually frame her as someone who improves cash flow, strengthens receivables operations, and brings order to messy financial processes, even though a lot of companies may not want to hear that their processes are messy. But we do not rewrite it just yet. For now, we're simply marking it as a section that must carry more AR manager positioning. And we're not going to make anything up. We're not going to fabricate. All right. So just hang in there with me. I'm going to take you step by step through doing this and even give you some additional tools along the way. Huh? That's how cool a guy I am. Hmm. Speaking of which, let me just say thank you to those of you who have written a recommendation for me. Excuse me, a recommendation for me and put it in LinkedIn. I really appreciate that. You all have said some very kind things about me, and I'm sure it makes others feel comfortable about following me, connecting with me, doing business with me, etc. So thank you so very much. That's very cool of you. All right. Core competencies. This section needs a market language audit. Ooh, that's kind of a hint into one of the tools I'm building for you. Mary's competencies should eventually reflect the language employers are using, including terms like accounts receivable management, aging report analysis, cash applications, collection strategy, account reconciliation, payment resolution, dispute resolution, process improvement, KPI reporting, ERP systems, month-end support, internal controls, and a partridge in a pear tree. Again, we're not rewriting, just identifying the language gap here. And letter D, experience bullets. Mary's experience bullets are where the money is. It's the ching ching. Her bullets already contain strong outcomes, but some may still describe tasks instead of fully connecting her work to AR manager priorities. The resume needs to make sure every major bullet answers one of these questions. You ready? What problem did she solve? What problem did you solve in this role that you were in? What problem did you solve? How much money, time, volume, or risk was involved or saved? What business result improved because you were in that role? This is how we move you from being a qualified worker to an obvious solution. Hope you guys are getting this, man. This is good stuff, really. And if you came in late, number one, welcome. I'm glad you're here. But number two, you need to watch this from the very beginning. All righty. And I asked you guys on Friday, I know we do inspiration on Friday, and that was a good session, if I might say so myself. But this is a great session as well. And you need to share this with someone. Share it, share it, share it. Tell them, send them the link to my YouTube channel. Get them to this live session so that they can see this. Because this, I'm gonna tell you, we're shifting gears. We had week 1, week 2, week 3. And now we're at a place where we're shifting and we're going, excuse me a moment. All right, we're shifting and we're going in a different direction as it relates to the steps that we're taking to make ourselves more viable in the marketplace. So, in other words, strap in. Okay, we're about to get into the weeds of it, and we're going to make things happen. Let me just say this. Some of you may have missed this. June 1, Monday, June 1st. What did I do? I said, hey, we're doing a reset. I've given you a lot of information in the past year, in the past 6 months of the year, 5 months at that point of the year. And it may have seemed disjointed. I was just basically trying to hit everybody, no matter where you were in the process. And for some that worked well, for others not so well. So I did a reset and I said, we're resetting the process. I'm taking you from step 1 all the way through to the end, whatever that looks like, bottom line, getting hired, etc. So if you're new to the series, hey, binge watch, go back to June 1 and start working your way through and actually put in the prompts, use the prompts. All right? Because again, we're on the tarmac. We're literally sitting waiting for the control tower to give us the okay to start taxiing down the runway. All right, we're about to lift off. So if that's you, hey, you're right on time. You're right on time. All righty. Let's see here. Where's my cursor? Okay. Letter E, skills and systems section. This section needs confirmation and strengthening later. Week 23 research showed that employers care about tools and systems. Mary's resume should clearly show relevant platforms, especially if she has experience with SAP, QuickBooks, Excel, accounting systems, ERP tools, reporting tools, or payment processing systems. What are they looking for in your industry, for your role? If the tools are missing, the ATS may miss her. If the tools are buried, the recruiter may miss her. Remember, even if you get through the ATS, and that's great, congratulations, reward yourself. But you get to a recruiter, you get to a hiring manager, you get to an HR professional. Guess what? They're going to skim and they might miss something. So either way, that section needs attention. F, leadership readiness. This is the biggest strategic issue. Mary has strong AR execution experience, but AR manager roles usually want some evidence of leadership, ownership, escalation handling, team coordination, process control, or training. If Mary has led people, trained staff, coordinated with departments, owned reporting, escalated collections issues, or improved workflows, that needs to be surfaced later. If she has not formally managed people, the resume can still position her for leadership by emphasizing these things. And we talked about this in the past: ownership, accountability, cross functional coordination, process improvement, reporting discipline, problem resolution, operational judgment. And for those of you who are working and you're looking to get to the manager role as your next role, again, we've covered this in the past. This is the reason for those lunch and learn sessions. This is the reason for creating the dashboards and presenting ideas and doing mini trainings, 5-minute trainings. This was the reason for that, so that we can take that data and now incorporate it into the resume. All righty. So we'll need to diagnose all this before we do our editing. So overall diagnoses: Mary's resume has strong raw materials. Her biggest problem is not lack of achievement. Her biggest problem is likely positioning. I've said this. I've said this time and time again. For many of you, you simply are not positioned properly. She has the numbers, she has the operational experience, she has the APAR foundation, she has measurable wins, but the resume needs to speak more like the job descriptions speak. That means future edits should not simply make the resume sound better, which it will. They should make it match better. That part. Truthfully, most importantly. Strategically, very, very, very importantly. And clearly, definitely importantly. Why diagnosing first makes every future edit 10 times smarter. So this is the part I wanted you guys to understand, because there might be some people saying, well, why not just do this now as we go? Here's why. Because guessing is expensive. When you rewrite before you diagnose, you may polish the wrong thing. You may make the resume prettier, but not stronger. You may add words that sound impressive, which so many people do. Oh my goodness. But do not match what the employers are actually screening for, what they're looking for, where their pain points exist. Diagnosis gives us the map. It tells us what already works, what should not be touched too much. Sometimes you can make a good thing bad. What language is missing, what sections carry the most weight, what proof needs to move higher. So if they're skimming, they see it sooner. What manager level signals need to be added later. This is the x-ray before the treatment plan. I like that analogy. And that matters because Mary does not need a random resume rewrite. No, she needs a targeted resume strategy, as do you, which is why I'm here with daily AI prompts for job seekers. Bottom line, Mary's resume is not starting from weakness. No, indeedy. And that's another thing. For many of you, you may need to do a rewrite of your resume before we even get here. because your resume may be very weak and not structured properly at all. The next step is to convert that evidence into language of the role she wants next. But not yet. First, we diagnose, then we prioritize, then we edit with purpose. That is how you stop guessing and start positioning. And you and Mary are not far away. The value is there. Now we need to make sure the market can see it. Oh my goodness. I hope let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. How'd we do today? I hope you're getting this and getting the link. Let's open up LinkedIn and let's open up YouTube, and I will post the links there. And let's go ahead and put this link in the comment section. There we have it. All right, so we got a couple of things here that popped up. Monica Jacks, hey, Monica says good. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, I got two things popping up on my screen, but only one in the. All right, so Shelly. Hey, Shelly, happy Monday, everyone. And happy Monday to you. Glad you're able to make it. This is such an important session. And now, Monica Jacks, good Monday, sunny afternoon. Good afternoon. Monica, glad that you're able to be here. Monica, you're in New York too, I believe. Hope you survived. Hope you survived the big wins. Stephanie, hey, Stephanie Mickle. Glad you're here. Thanks for taking part of your lunch hour to be here. She says good stuff, y'all. I hope you agree with her. Therese Jones gives a thumbs up. Thank you, Therese. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Therese says good information. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Who else is commenting? Dawn, this is helpful. I'll be using this. Thank you, Dawn. Hope you'll be using everything, though. But seriously, yes. Again, step by step, we're getting there. All righty? We're getting there. And then Monica, yes, I am in New York. Yeah, I thought I remembered you being in New York. And so, look, I'm here for you guys, and I want you to know that I take your success seriously. All righty? I understand that this job market is crazy. Everybody is hoping with the end of the conflict that things are going to change for the better really soon. But just remember, and please, I need you to hear me, hear my heart. Just remember, AI, it plays a role in your next role. All righty? So we've covered that. We've covered a lot of that. So that for this segment comes, well, it comes in a couple of weeks or so, a few weeks. But I need you to remember, okay? So we're going to do let me say this. We're going to do everything we need to do to prepare ourselves to begin to look at job offers and to begin to look at job descriptions and get ourselves ready for the interviews, right? That's the path that we're on, right? So we're starting where? With the resume, because that's where everything starts. That's the foundation of everything. Everything you're going to do and say is dependent upon that resume. So that's why I'm starting with the resume. There are a few things that we needed to tidy up first before we got here. We did that. Now we're here. Now we're going to start moving forward in the process. All right. Let's see, something else popped up. John says, thank you for such a helpful session. You're welcome. The biggest takeaway for me is just how critical it is to match the language of the job description rather than just listing what we did. And let me just stick a pin right there, because understand, everybody, this is for everybody, understand what we did and what we're doing. It's not just a singular job description. That's not where we are right now. Where we are is we're taking the research that we did around a job title, a specific job title, your 100% match job title that you're going for. And we said, I want to see the 10 top keywords that employers are looking for today, which was sometime last week, I believe it was, the last Tuesday or somewhere in there. What are they looking for? The top 10 keywords and job descriptions that are live today for this one job title in this area of the country that I'm looking for work in. And we also got the information about the top 10 responsibilities that that job title carried for that specific region where we're looking for work. All right. I need you to hear the distinction. It's not just a single job description, but it is based on multiple job descriptions that were live that day across job boards, the internet, etc. And so we're first off getting ourselves prepared based on the language that's being used across the industry for that job title. We're going to fast forward to the future. We're going to then come back after we have shimmied ourselves into the more general to the more specific. But here's why this works. Because if we get, let's just say we take that information from the numerous amount of job descriptions for that one job title, and we start to call our keywords and our phrases and et cetera into our resume, then when we pull a specific job description and compare our resume to it, guess what? We're going to have less work to do. Okay, I hope you're seeing that. I hope you're seeing that. So thank you, John. Thank you for pointing this out. All right, here we go. John says, it takes some of the emotional sting out of getting ghosted when you view it as a data alignment puzzle to solve. Gamify it however you wish, my friend. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's the idea. In fact, my goal is to not just take the sting out of ghosting, is to get rid of ghosting, because we're not just applying for any and every job that's out there. We're being strategic. Remember, we talked about that. The one that you want versus the one that's the best fit. All right. As I told you, everything builds on what we've done already. All right. Let's get out of here. No, can't go yet. Something else popped up. When did this series session started? Okay. When did it start? So we started again June 1st. So what is this? 14 days ago. Of course, we don't do anything on the weekends. Monday, June 1st. So you've got roughly like 3 weeks, 5, 10, 15. Yeah. Worth of, 20, 30-minute videos to watch. And, if we're just talking pure content, 4, 8, 12 of them. So about 6 hours. You can do it. Or if you're talking Fridays as well, which is I'm not going to say it anymore after this, but it's Fridays are Dawn's favorite days. Okay, but in any event, look, thanks for asking that, Therese. But that's what we're talking about. So again, you're right on time, but I really hope that you'll start from the beginning and work your way up, as opposed to just jumping in the middle, because you may miss something that was very important. All right, now we're going to go. Nothing else has popped up. Look, have a wonderful rest of your day. I pray that you stay safe as you go about your day. If you see something that seems out of place, please say something to someone, let someone know. And I'll look forward to being here tomorrow, 12 noon. We start exactly 12 noon Eastern time every day. All right. So if you can arrange your schedule to be here from kickoff, then please do so. If not, I understand. That's what the replays are for. All righty. If you missed the announcement, month of July, we're going to be changing that time schedule, because I'm going to be working at a camp for kids, teaching them about AI and presenting themselves properly in the world, not just the business world, but the world. So great opportunity to sow into some young minds for an entire month down on the Eastern Shore. So just stay tuned for more announcements on that. But with that said, have a wonderful rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Remember only three things you got to remember. God loves you. I love you. Nothing you can do about it. Have a wonderful one more time. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Wow, that was fantastic. I haven't been this excited to learn about something since I left basketball. Anyway, Mr. Craig did another great job of sharing an AI prompt that anyone can use in their job search. Be sure to join him every day, Monday through Friday at noon Eastern, on his LinkedIn profile or his YouTube channel called Get Up and Get a Job. You can watch the replays there as well. And while you're at it, share this information with someone you know who wants or needs a new job. I've got to run. My team needs me. But keep up the great work, Mr. Craig. You're providing a great service for the community. I'm going to tell all of my players about daily AI prompts for job seekers with William Craig III.